दोस्तों नमस्कार. This is Sanjay Agrawal. So I am with the co-founder for this bike. This is a bike which was launched in Bangalore 2016 में. मैं हिंदी और इंग्लिश मिक्स कर रहा हूँ.
2024 April.
2024 April.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So आप थोड़ा सा बताएंगे when you guys where you started.
Sure.
Right, and this bike is launched today, 77 Mac 2,
yes.
Right, and then you have a 99.
Yes.
वो कब आ रहा है?
Yes. Thank you. I'm Narayan, CEO and co-founder of Ultraviolet. We've been in R&D for about 7 years today to develop all of the systems for the F77 Mark II, which is a performance sports motorcycle, completely electric. So it's taken us 7 years to develop the battery systems, the powertrain, the onboard electronics, and today we have a machine that has the highest specs across the board. Single charge range of 323 kilometers IDC, a top speed of 155 kilometers per hour, torque of 100 Newton meters, and a whole host of tech functions, Violet AI, Delta Watch, dual channel ABS, got multiple levels of traction control, 10 levels of regenerative braking. All of this essentially make it among the most advanced electric motorcycles in the world.
Wonderful. And my next question is that the Prime Minister of India, Narayan Modi, he is wanting such youth, He's looking for people like you. And he's giving a lot of, means we want to grow as an economy, 2047 when we complete 100 years. So what's your vision for 2047?
I mean, what we're doing entirely aligns with that vision. In fact, our Prime Minister recently said, designing in India for the world, and that's essentially what we're doing.
This is totally made in India.
Totally, I would say, imagined, designed, and made in India.
Wonderful.
And today we are certified for global markets. We are Europe certified, which means today we have the ability to take the product to 40 countries across the world.
So thank you, धन्यवाद. और मैं I just wanted to add कि इनके साथ जो co-founder है is Neeraj. So Neeraj का थोड़ा सा just one line introduction.
So I'm from an automobile design background. I was working as a designer in Germany and Japan before coming back to India. Neeraj and I go back a long way. He's from a computer science and electronics background. He was shuttling between India and the US before he came back in 2015. And that's when both of us collectively felt the large companies are taking time for disruptive innovation, which is where a small group of like-minded and focused people could make a change and do all of this from a design, hardware and software side right here in India. And I think that's where we began.
So I just want to add lastly, this is going to be the talk of the town, and this is going to be the most happening place in the coming days and years. And I just wanted to say, I think the best brands are across आपके left or right में.
Absolutely.
So they are there. So welcome, Delhi, welcome to this place. Thank you.
Appreciate the support. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Damdar Shandar.
Now expanding across the country. So in the south, Bangalore, Chennai, and a few other cities, now we've started connecting them pretty efficiently. And now, as we start scaling into the north, we will also be starting to expand the Supernova network. So we've tied up with HPCL. So we're also partnering in setting up these charging points at the HPCL stations as well. With the 12 kilowatt Supernova charger, you will be able to charge to 80% in essence 200 plus kilometers of range in under 40 minutes. So that
in Bangalore, where it all started in terms of scaling up of our R&D teams. And today, what we have done is that we have vertically integrated every aspect of the technology within the company. From starting with the software, the embedded systems that are running on the vehicles. So for example, our vehicle control unit has 3 different microprocessors, each running its own operating system. There's one for the cluster, which is running a Linux operating system. There's a real-time operating system, which is controlling all aspects of the vehicle, very similar to a flight controller on a drone. And then there's a third system, which is the telematics unit, which is collecting about 3,000 data points every second and analyzing that data to make sure that you are having a complete experience on the vehicle. Right? So that's just one aspect of it. And all of that software, all of the electronics was developed in-house. And we've been talking about this for a while. We're talking about expansion in India and globally. And today completes phase 1 of our expansion with Delhi going live. We're very excited. This is the 12th city that we're going live with. And all of the other cities Narayan mentioned are already live, and today we're very excited and happy to be here. There's been a lot of demand, there's been a lot of interest in us being here, and we're excited to finally go live here in Delhi. Right? I have one other part to talk about, which is what happened very recently. In fact, this is more about about Delhi, building the community in Delhi. In terms of as we scale up now, the community around Delhi here, and all of us have seen that in Bangalore we have already started to capture more than 5% of the sports motorcycle market. Right, this is competing with all of the IC engines, and now our target is to start working on this segment here in North India, starting with Delhi. This is what I was very, very excited about. Right? So this is something that we did very recently. We've been talking about the F99, which is India's first superbike. Right? If you think about it, for the last 50, 70 years, we've had two-wheeler companies in India. We've had two-wheeler companies working with their Japanese partners or their European partners to make two-wheelers in India. Right? Whether you talk about petrol vehicles or any sorts of vehicles. But what we were sort of seeing was that there was no company that had ever built a superbike in India. And this was something that sort of we took on as a challenge. It's not an easy one, I'll be honest. Couple of months ago when we were in Milan, I got to see some of the museums of the European companies, right, which have been building motorcycles for close to 100 years. They have 50 different sports motorcycles that they've built over 100 years. And that's the heritage and history that they have with superbikes. And for us as Agrawal to say that we'll take on this kind of legacy and build India's first superbike was not an easy task. And this is something that we've accomplished since we made our claim last year about building these vehicles. The F99 today is the fastest Indian motorcycle. And today, a couple of weeks back at Valley Run, we broke the quarter mile speed record, the timing record for the quarter mile with 10.712 seconds. And this was an incredible achievement because the next quarter mile timing that was set by an Indian motorcycle was 11.3 or 11.5 seconds. Right? So to accomplish something like this meant everything on the vehicle had to be engineered ground up.
You can just start speaking. Yeah. Good.
Can I ask you?
Yeah, please just speak up loud.
So my question basically comes from being a rider primarily. So don't have much sense about the business. So I'll just talk about the motorcycle. In the presentation, you mentioned about the Violet AI. So what I wanted to check is how much of does that take away the essence of motorcycling from the rider? Because as we see motorcycles being more focused on electronics and how to manage a motorcycle, I feel it's taking away the essence of riding from the motorcyclists. So in that sense, how you guys want to manage that we don't lose the essence of motorcycling while riding this, or it will just become another EV and it's not going to be like focused just on the city commute or something like that? How do you like balance that out?
Cool. I got your question. Very much internal debates that we have also in the company. Completely agree with you. Cannot take away from the motorcycling experience where the rider is controlling every core system on the vehicle. So Violet AI is a back-end system. It does not intrude in your motorcycling activity at all whatsoever. It is more of a security blanket. For example, there is a feature called Delta Watch. So say you're in a gym and the motorcycle is parked below. Any sort of disturbance, if somebody touches the motorcycle, sits on it, or the motorcycle drops or falls, if someone has stored away your motorcycle, all of these are now documented and you get an alert real time on your mobile app. Think of it like a home security system, right? So you can calibrate the sensors to give you certain alerts, or if it's too intrusive, you can dial it down as well. Certain other systems that were very important are, the regen function is to decelerate the motorcycle, right? When you are on high levels of regen. But the function of an ABS is to stop the wheels from locking up, right? So in braking behavior, you have multiple forms of braking. You have mild braking, active braking, and panic braking. Now, panic braking on a high regen, for example, becomes a complex scenario because you have regen trying to slow down the wheel and you have ABS trying to prevent a wheel lockup. So both of these systems, how do they now talk to each other? So that is where incredible development on our side called the Dynamic Stability Control, DSC is what we call it. That was a 2-year exercise across software and hardware to recognize a panic braking instance particularly and now suppress regen and prioritize ABS. So a few things like this is where the tech sort of on the software side has built more capability than a completely mechanical system. But the Violet AI that we spoke about, it is not like our self-driving cars, it is more of a security backend for your product.
Understood. One more question. So regarding the video that you showed, where the guy took the bike in off-road conditions, and obviously, like I still look at it as a road bike, a road-focused bike. So looking at that video, I'll still not take if I have that bike not taking to those kind of conditions. So in the future, are you guys planning to go into different segments of say dual sport or ADVs, or are we looking at those products in the future? From
See,
you?
I think over time you will see us definitely be part of every single segment that is out there. For us, what was important to first get right was the base platform, the technology, prove that it is robust. While what you rightly said about the video is that it is a street, it's a sports motorcycle. Extreme terrains is not generally what it is applicable for. But the idea was to validate that it is capable of, putting it through the most rigorous conditions. And that is what we validated. So over time, you'll definitely see us. In fact, we did, in the first slide, we showed a concept X, which, also is meant to sort of, we'll be making more announcements around that, but definitely the